My name is Daphna. I'm a healer and alternative medicine practitioner. This series is going to be dedicated to the work with the chakras. So there are going to be episodes dedicated for each chakra. And in the episodes, we're going to talk about the philosophy and psychology behavior behind the chakras. And we're also going to learn meditation techniques that are specific to each chakra. And we're also going to practice healing techniques for each chakra. So let's begin with even discussing what are chakras and what do they mean. So according to Indian tradition and Indian medicine philosophy, we have 7 energetic centers in the central axis of our body, and each energy center is radiating in a cone shape. So let's take, for example, my heart chakra will radiate in a cone shape and will whirlwind in a vortex to radiate to my front and to my back. So each chakra would have radiating energy from the front and from the back, and the front side would represent more my awareness or my conscious part of my behavior, and the back would represent my unconsciousness. The term chakra actually means wheel, because that's the direction that the chakras are moving in. We have, according to this philosophy, we have 7 of these energetic centers, and each one represents a specific behavioral pattern, a specific element of the elements of nature. Every chakra would have specific colors that are associated with it, and specific energy, specific essence that is related to it. And they all are based one above the other in a way that helps us evolve and helps us understand ourselves and understand the world better. So let's begin with the first chakra. The first chakra is located in the tailbone, or that first vertebrae where the embryo develops from in the uterus. And this chakra is connected to the essence and the energy of the earth. So it's the first chakra that is developed. It's the first kind of anchoring point of the embryo to the physical world. There's a soul that comes here from who knows where, and the first anchoring into the physical world happens with the first vertebrate, and then the rest of the spine grows, and with the first chakra. So this chakra is the most fundamental chakra that we need in order to reach stability and in order to reach a sense of safety and structure, and to be in the earth and to feel at home. So this is the chakra that talks about all these issues. Its basic identity is the concept of survival. So with the first chakra, we first need to understand how to survive and how to be safe in the world. And nowadays, survival is not about running from the lion in the jungle, but it's more about money issues or housing issues. We need money to survive. We need a house to feel safe and structured and secure, and all these words that you hear me say, safety, stability, structure, grounding, all these are words that are related to the essence of the first chakra. Its color is red, and it really takes a lot of healing from being connected and grounded to the earth. One meditation that we're going to practice in this series is a meditation called Roots Meditation, in which we anchor our roots from our tailbone all the way to the center of the earth and pick up energy in the color red that helps us to feel fundamentally stable and safe and grounded here. And if we don't have this understanding of how to be grounded, life can be very shaky. So this chakra, when it's imbalanced, it talks about, as we said, first of all, money issues. So people who would have a lot of money issues would feel that what would eventually happen is that their first chakra would be very depleted. Another thing that people who have depleted first chakra feel is that they have a lot of fears or a lot of anxieties. On the physical level, it would be people who would be anemic, or people who would have chronic problems and chronic diseases, because in the first chakra, as we said, because it talks about survival, it also talks about our basic right to have a body which is healthy and is stable and is nourished. So this roots meditation that we're going to practice is very helpful for any of these symptoms and any of these behavioral patterns. So this is the first chakra. Again, tailbone, earth, stability, feeling safe. Obviously, this is something that has been a problem for many of us, and all kinds of traumas that we went through in our lives cause us to feel unsafe at life and to feel untrusting, and we feel that there was a disconnection, a cut in the cord between us and the earth. So the biggest challenge of the first chakra is to understand how to connect to the earth again and how to make peace with the earth. So that's the first chakra. We're going to talk about it in a different episode exactly on all the intricate relationship that we have for the first chakra and how to heal it. Let's now move on to the second chakra. The second chakra is located 2 fingers below the belly button, and it's the chakra of emotions and of desires and of feelings and of senses. What do we sense and feel? It's a very sensual chakra and also the sexual chakra. The element of this chakra is water. And you can see that just as with the planet Earth, the Earth is contained of 30% earth and 70% water, but the 30% earth part is the container of all this water. So it's very important for us to have a stable enough container in the first chakra so we can hold all and contain all our emotions that are stored in the second chakra. And when I'm talking about the feelings or the sensations or the emotions that are stored in the second chakra, some of them we are aware of them, but most of them we aren't aware of them. So it's more kind of like a very cloudy cave that is not really understandable, and it's very hard for us to access our true feelings. But we kind of have a gut feeling about something and we can't really explain why. So this gut feeling, this gut sensation that we have, that's the exact location of the second chakra. So again, it talks about anything that is related to our emotional world, and it talks about having an ability to move and to be flexible in our thought and not to be stagnant, and that's actually what the water is. And if we become too rigid or too stagnant, then the water can't move. Sexual trauma or any kind of trauma that has been disrespecting our boundaries, disrespecting the container that we discussed in the first chakra, is interrupting the second chakra, and the water becomes muddy because it's too scary to look into the hidden emotions that are inside. So people who went through sexual trauma, they mostly feel it in their second chakra, and it echoes to their first chakra, to their ability to even feel safe in the earth. The second chakra is more the female chakra, or our female essence. And when we'll move on to talk about the third chakra, we'll talk about our masculine essence. So as we said, in this water element chakra, the color of it is orange. It develops, if in the first chakra is developed in an embryo state. The second chakra is developed when we are born until the year about 2 years old of the baby. And that's when the baby starts to discover what they feel about things. They're not only busy surviving with the first chakra, but also they feel. They feel that they love their mom, or they love their dad, or they love the kindergarten teacher. They don't like this. They start to understand that boundaries is something that is very, very important. And when they don't understand it, the parent's role is to give them these boundaries. And these boundaries make the container of the water. When the child becomes too upset, or that they can't contain their emotions, or the pain, the physical or the emotional pain the frustration that they feel, they start to cry, which is a nice reminder that this is actually a water element. And when we feel upset, the water just bursts out and it's impossible to contain it anymore, and the flood happens. So this is the second chakra, and again, we're going to focus a specific episode to this. Let's move on to the third chakra. The third chakra is located right here in the solar plexus area, or that soft spot in between our ribs. And if we talked about our earth and then the water that the earth contains, now we're moving to talk about our fire element. And we're talking again about the masculine energy of the third chakra. Masculinity, as we talked about the traumas of the feminine energy, the masculine energy is also very traumatized and is linked to aggressiveness. But a balanced third chakra would be assertiveness. So in the third chakra, I not only in the beginning we talked about how to be busy surviving and how to be focusing on what do I feel. And then in the third chakra, we move on to being outside in the world again. So in the third chakra is the chakra where I shine my light from outwards and communicate with the world. So this is the social chakra. And it talks about my ability to shine myself outwards, to communicate, to be social, to interact with the world, to bring the fire essence in me, to be assertive, to, for example, speak in front of an audience, to be outgoing. And so this is the third chakra. For people who have social issues, who are feeling that they're having a hard time interacting socially with people, or that have social anxiety, this is the chakra to focus on, to look inside and to see what is going on with their fire element. Maybe it's too low or too high, and we're going to focus in the third chakra episode, a meditation specifically about that. As we said, this is more the masculine chakra, and it talks about when it's imbalanced, it talks about aggressiveness, and it talks about anger and rage, and that is something that men were more nurtured to feel growing up. So young boys were nurtured to become angry, and become assertive and become aggressive. Their third chakra is very overactive, but they don't have the feminine second chakra ability to analyze these emotions. So they could become very angry, but they don't know how to have the emotional vocabulary to understand what it is that they're angry about. And ultimately, just as women need, generally speaking, just as women need to understand how to be how to be assertive, men need to understand how to go down to their second chakra and understand how to not immediately be angry at something, but to understand how to analyze their emotions. So these are actually two opposite movements that the male and the female soul actually needs. The color of the third chakra is yellow, and it develops at around the age 2 or 3, and this is when the toddler would have the rage attacks, right, and the fire would suddenly go very strongly. These are the 3 basic chakras, and they're more earth elements in general, right? We're talking about earth and water and fire, and what I mean by that is that when we're going to look into our higher chakras, they're more kind of esoteric or ethereal and very different higher frequencies, and are not planet Earth related, and we're going to look into these chakras later on. But first, I want to focus on our central chakras. On our central chakra, which is the heart. So we had the 3 basic ones, and we are going to have the 3 higher ones, and we have the one in the middle. So everything in the middle meets in the heart. We have the energy of the earth, of the first chakra, which is red, and we have the energy of the crown chakra, which is white, and the connection between the earth and the heaven meets at the center and creates love. And so the color of the heart chakra is pink, the combination between the red and the white. We also have another layer of the fourth chakra, of the heart chakra, which is the color green. The color green because we have the yellow of the third chakra and we have the blue of the throat chakra, and together they meet in the heart and creates the color green. And the color green is the color which nature sprouts from. So the color green is a very basic color for any kind of growth and healing of any of the physical or emotional wounds that we might carry. So this is a very, very special chakra because it's a connection between two worlds, and that's why it's the only chakra that has two colors and the only chakra that has two layers when we talk about the concept of love. We have the love that we feel towards someone, which is more coming from the social chakra, the third chakra. I feel that I love someone. This love is not infinite, it's a finite love. I love someone, I can unlove this person if they do something that will hurt me. And then there is another layer, which is the universal love. When we have a universal love, that we have it and it surrounds us always in kind of this pink fluffy love that is always here, and it's the only one true force of nature, whether we're aware of it or not. And this love is stored in our hearts. And when we'll practice the meditation of the fourth chakra, we'll awaken this universal love that is independent of anything. It's just a force of creation. It's just the force in which the universe was created by, and that's what makes the world go around eventually. So this is the heart chakra, which is very, very special. It develops from year 4, from year 3 or 4, and so and on, when we start to understand the concept of love, that we really love someone, or that we really love in general, that life is loving. That's one layer, and another layer of it is a layer that was there all along, just like universal love. It was always here. Same goes with a newborn baby that is just unconditionally, always infinitely loving, regardless of how you'll behave around it. So that's the other layer of this very special chakra. Its element is air, and it's located, not coincidentally, just near the lungs, and is affected by grief. And when we feel grief or immense amount of sadness, we really feel like a very heavy load on our chest, and that it's very hard for us to take a deep breath. We feel that our breath is being taken away. So if people who are experiencing grief are also feeling that they're having a hard time breathing, or people who have asthma or has any breathing problems, that's the reason, because the heart chakra has been really traumatized and damaged, and it would be easy for them to understand how to heal and take a deep breath when they practice this heart meditation that we're going to practice. So these were the 4 elements that we talked about in the 4 chakras. Let's move on to the higher 3 chakras. The next one would be the 5th chakra, which would be in the throat. And the throat chakra has the color blue. Its element is the element of sound. We had the 4 elements that we already know, right? The earth, water, fire, and air. And now we're moving on to more higher, undefinable almost elements. So the element of sound is the element that is located in the throat chakra, and it talks about our ability to speak, my ability to speak my truth. After I understood what my heart feels like and what my love feels like, and how to understand my heart, what is inside my heart, I can now go and speak this truth and speak my love and speak my understanding of life. This chakra is being blocked when we feel that we're being lied to as children, or this chakra is also being blocked when we lie and when we don't speak our truth. That's one element of the throat chakra. Another element of it is to understand how to listen to my inner voice. We have a voice that always speaks to the outside, and as very verbal beings, this chakra is a very, very active chakra. But we also have an inner voice that guides us. And usually for us to listen to our inner voice, we need our outer voice to become quiet for a moment. And that's why sometimes we go and practice meditations, which then we have to be quiet and start to turn inwards and to listen to our inner voice. So in the fifth chakra, I have the ability to listen to my inner voice and then to speak it outwards. The next chakra is the chakra of the third eye, the sixth chakra. And in the third eye, we talk about, as opposed to the two physical eyes which are looking outwards, we have the third eye which is looking inwards into the vast fields of my mind. And this is a very interesting and special chakra because it talks about that 90% ability of our brain that we don't use. We have huge abilities that are still undiscovered, and we start to discover them with the sixth chakra. So again, just as we needed to silence our outer voice with meditation in order to listen to our inner voice, we can also, that's why we close our eyes in order to block the two seeing outwards eyes and to start looking inwards. And when we turn inwards and start to see the vast fields of our minds with the sixth chakra, we start to explore and we start to see many hidden abilities that apparently we actually surprisingly have. So this is the chakra where we discover that we actually have telepathic abilities and that we can actually sense energies and that we can actually channel and understand our higher guidance, understand our calling and our mission in life. And when I understand my calling and when I understand my mission in life, I can now open my two eyes and project this into my reality and start to create my vision. So this is a very, very high frequency chakra. The element of this chakra is the element of sight, and again it talks about my insight. So this kind of sixth sense ability that I can't really explain but that I know is right, and also my insight of understanding what is my soul's purpose and what is my soul's mission in life. Depression is the fundamental symptom that is related to a blocked sixth chakra, because when I don't know what it is that I need to do in this life, what is my soul's mission, then life can become very depressing. There is no light anymore, right? Depression is kind of like this quicksand muddiness that just kind of sucks you in instead of being able to see and to be able to project your vision and to manifest your calling. So for people with depression, I really would like to encourage them to look inside and to find what it is that their soul wants, what it is that their calling is asking for them to manifest and create into this life. Because the sixth chakra creates such high frequencies and it opens the door to another 90% of the brain, which is usually still undiscovered, at first, in order for us to understand how to contain everything that we're going to see, we need to start from the first chakra. So that's why this is all building one layer over the other. We need to strengthen our earth base so the sand wouldn't feel so quicksand, but that it would be stable and secure earth. And then we can move on and look at our sixth chakra and to understand everything that it wishes to show us. Let's move on to the seventh chakra, which is here in the crown. And the seventh chakra has the, sorry, I didn't mention the color of the sixth chakra. Its color is purple. Yeah, and for the seventh chakra, the color is white, and it talks about my connection to the above, or to the universe, or to God, or creation, or we all have different names for it. And when we connect to the seventh chakra and we connect to the above and to it's even beyond our higher guidance. It's the higher guidance, we will see them in the sixth chakra, but here we're talking about even a higher level than our higher guidance, but the source of creation. When we focus with the seventh chakra to the connection and the source of the universe and of the creation, we remember unity again. We remember that we're not only just finite beings, but that we're also a beam of light which comes directly and is part of the entire universe. So we, as you can see, we have two supposedly contradicting forces. We have the earth, which brings us downwards and creates boundaries and creates a solid body that has a beginning and an end, and we understand separation, which is very, very important for us to become stable and to have clear boundaries and to fulfill my role in this life. And then we have the highest chakra, which talks exactly about the opposite, about how to become unified again, how to remember our infinite light and to remember that we are a direct mission of the creation which was stored and brought here to fulfill our mission. And these two supposedly contradicting forces, the earth, which makes us finite, and the above, which makes us infinite, is exactly what we need in order to become complete. We need to have all these forces together. So these are the 7 chakras. Every chakra also echoes to a specific layer of the aura. So the first chakra creates the first layer of the aura in the color red, and it radiates the entire level of the first level of the aura. The second chakra would create the second level of the aura, the second layer, of the aura, and it colors it in the color orange. The third chakra would color the third layer of the aura with the color yellow, and so on. So as we said, because these has the fourth chakra, because it has 2 colors, it would create 2 layers of the aura. So ultimately we have all these layers of the aura, and so each chakra, because let's take for example the 4th chakra, which creates the layer of the green and the layer of the pink of this chakra, it also feels the first layer, right? Because each layer creates kind of like a sphere, and each sphere connects around it until ultimately we are complete beings that feel all emotions and that feels all aspects of our creation. Sorry if that was too confusing. I hope it made some sense. We're going to focus on each episode on a specific chakra. So we're going to have an episode dedicated to the first chakra, and then an episode dedicated to how to heal the first chakra and how to meditate on the first chakra, and so on about the second and third chakra, and so on. When we talk about the aura, we're going to talk about it in the 6th chakra, because in the 6th chakra we're talking about how to understand other abilities and other energetic forces, and we're going to understand how to see the aura. We see the aura not with these 2 eyes, but with this eye. I would like to invite you to check all the different episodes, and I wish you a very meaningful and empowering healing journey, and I'm sending you hugs. Bye bye. Thank you.